This is not a soap opera, General Hospital, or Days of Our Lives, but you guys see it as such. And when I have to come on every day on here, I'm exposing what's going on in my life. Now, my kid, I would not be surprised that she's watching my shows. Well, maybe she's going to have to find information whether I drop dead or not from some other source. Don't worry, Shauna, it'll happen. I guarantee you it'll happen. Not if you go before I do, though. It's sick when your only child wants a relationship with you, but not physically in a way of having you in her life. But she wants to watch my shows just to see if I'm still alive, and she won't make a email to me or nothing. Wow. See, you could do the best job in the world of raising your children, but it does not mean they're going to turn out to be what you expected. Expect the unusual, expect the unexpected. I get tired of this back and forth thing. Family members or not, I don't give a shit because you're either going to be in somebody's life or you're not going to be in somebody's life. And don't try to like this vicarious shit. You're going to listen to daddy on your computer when daddy does a show, just so you can see what he looks like when he comes on camera, what his life's all about, if he's still alive. It's like being in your daddy's life, but not being in your daddy's life. Well, daddy did a great job of doing his job of raising my little girl. And that was my responsibility, and I took it seriously. I don't regret anything in the past of raising my little girl, my special little girl, on my own, getting custody because I was a better parent, losing a lot of my own social time to raise my daughter. I did all that stuff. I gave up a lot to raise my daughter on my own, and I don't regret it. I'm not saying I regret it, but I have made sacrifices, many sacrifices. Some of them you won't believe how deep they were. Although I think I've discussed something in the past, something happened. I had to be a knight on the white horse and rescue her from a situation that she didn't know needed rescuing. And I won't go into any more than that because I think I've covered it in the past. She doesn't remember all the things I've done for her, even to the littlest things that when me and the mom divorced, I had people come over and had a cake. And on it, it said for a special girl. How many parents do that? It wasn't a birthday, it wasn't a holiday. I did not want her to think that the breakup had anything to do with her. That's what a father does. That's what a good parent does. That's what I did. So if your kid that you raised and you spent countless time, energy, money, love, devotion to, decide to kick dirt in your face, do you kick dirt back? No, you don't kick dirt back. Be the better person. Just say to yourself, I raised her, I did my job, and what she does with her adult life is her doing. But the only thing I didn't like is when we were in touch, always asking me advice, but never taking it. It takes its toll on a man, on a parent. Then they do the opposite of what you're advising them to do, and their life turns into a shamble. Her life has been a shamble, unfortunately, of events and partners and so forth. And that's sad to know. And I don't blame it on myself that I didn't stay in Seattle to give her some guidance. Like her life had to go on, my life had to go on too. I don't regret any of it. I'm here in this country because I want to be here. I don't have to be here. I wanted to be here. So, as far as children, they grow up. They grow up and their physicality, their psychology, that's another thing you can't control. How they handle things in life or not handle things is really up to them. As a parent, you can't be there for your child all the time because your life has to go on too. I have a new life. So whether or not my daughter's you know, kicking shit in my face. It's irrelevant. I did my job. The love's still there, but, and I'll probably die not ever talking to her, more than likely, but she has to live with it. And she has to self examine. Like anybody else, they have to self examine. Then they have regrets later on. Oh, I should have treated my father a lot better than that. After all, he did love me. He did raise me. He went out of his way for me in so many ways, making sure I was okay, whether I needed dental work, a small cold, I'd take her to a doctor, everything she needed. She wore the best clothing when I could afford it. Osh gosh bagosh. I did everything for her. But you could only do so much. And to expect it back in return, that doesn't always happen. But like I was listening to somebody's show, and this is related why I'm talking about it. The good old days raised in the 70s when, you know, kids were getting a little radical, but they still showed respect for their parents. They knew what time dinner was going to be when the lights were on. Be home. There wasn't no cell phones for them to get involved in, playing all these ridiculous gaming stuff, which is useless, and not socializing with people one to one. Big change back in the 60s and 70s. Really big change compared to now. If you are a parent or if you have a family member you don't see eye to eye with, or, yeah, you still love them, but they become kind of intolerable, or there's just total disagreement on issues and politics and so forth, take it for what it is. Go to your own corners, live your life. The main thing is answer this one question. Did you try to reconciliate? Did you make any concerted effort to regain them back into your life? If you did, then you did everything you needed to do. Move on with your life, then die, and there'll time come too. Everybody's going to die. You did your job. And if you did a successful job of raising your children, be happy, be proud, and don't let your children get you down. And then when their life fucks up, they say, it's all you. You did it. You did it. You were too overprotective of me. You know what? I was protective of her. I'm proud to say that I was. If I wasn't, she'd be hit by a car, kidnapped, spit on, shit on. Daddy was always there to protect. And I don't regret 1 second of it. I think that was an issue with her. You're kind of overprotective, my counselor says. Fuck your counselor. Unfortunately, a lot of parents are not in their kids' lives. At one moment in time, they don't know what their kids are doing out there. They're too busy with their own shit. You got to be involved in your kid's life. You got to know where they are, what they're doing, and who they are with. That's good parenting. That's good parenting. So whatever, and I know she's probably listening. I've made my efforts. Move on, I guess, as I'm going to move on with this show for a while. Um, Remember, nobody can tell you how to live your life. Nobody can dictate to you what your life is like, whether you're happy or not. Yeah, I got great memories of raising my child. I got great memories. I loved it. It was challenging at the same time, but I loved it. I've only got one child, and now I'm void of my grandchildren? That was wrong what she did. Kids should stay out of this. I should still have my grandchildren to communicate with all these years. And she took that away from me. It's like what a lot of wives do to their husbands when they divorce. They take control of the kids. Well, I'll let you see them when I want you to let them see them. You better behave and bow down, and I'll give you a biscuit, and I'll let you see them on every other weekend or some bull. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Nobody's going to dictate that shit to me. I got the custody of my daughter. That bitch of a wife I had, she didn't get shit. In fact, she had to pay me child support. Shows you how smart I am. Yeah. and then get custody of a female child? That hardly ever happened back then. It hardly ever happens. Who was a better parent? Obviously, I was. Obviously, I was. Her mom was never there for her. She avoided her so many times, but she has a lot to say about me. What do you have to say about me, honey child? What bad do you have to say about me? She's done some pretty lousy things to me in the past, too, but I overseen them. But she's my daughter, and I recognize her as my daughter, and there is love for her, despite any, I don't know, discrepancies and psychological issues or whatever. Still my daughter, and I always recognize her as my daughter, but life goes on. I have a new family. It's one of the best families I've ever had. Ever. Ever. And who would have thought it would be here in the Philippines? Here I am. Say what you want, but you can't tell me if I'm happy or unhappy. I'm living my own life. Dawn, again, don't worry about my toenails. Go brush your teeth. My nails are cut. Thank you very much, Dawn, for pointing it out. Get a fucking life, and that applies to everybody else. Get a fucking life. God, I don't blame people for getting off this shit. I really don't blame them at all. How I persevered 10 years on here, I really don't know. I guess I gotta reprogram my brain all over again.